Hello, viewers of Sounding Board, and tonight we're going to talk about Star Wars, the Black Series Archive, Han Solo. This ain't the young Han Solo or Bespin Han Solo, this is old ass Han Solo from the horrible last three Star Wars Disney films. Here's what the archive version looks like from the front. And in the back you get a picture of Solo, and you get a picture of what the figure did look like in the box. And it came out, in 2015. So let's open it up and take a look. And see how well these things are constructed, since we've never opened a Star Wars guy before. We've opened Star Wars guys, yeah, but not a Black Label. His only accessory is his handgun. He moves here and here. His head moves. He doesn't have waist movement other than midsection. In the stomach you can see. And it's very limited. It's kind of limited like the way Harrison Ford is now. Kind of sad they're not as jointed as the Hasbro GI Joes. And Star Wars was a Kenner line too, and it became a staple line for it's what put Kenner on the map, like Hasbro put GI Joe in the map. He can hold his gun. I think I bought this because I had seen the movie a couple weeks ago, and then I saw I read the comic Han Solo and Chewbacca. It's one of the better Star Wars because most of them are junk. But here's what he looks like from the front, the side, the back, and the side. Now, if I remember correctly, I think he had a stripe in the movie on his pants, which they kind of forgot about. But I have to go look again. Will the heavy blaster fit in the holster? It fits awkward, but it doesn't fit at all. So basically the holster's there for appearance sake, but not for holding weapons. And he's actually shorter than a classified figure. You think they would have wanted to make the classified and the Star Wars Black Label the same scale, so then kids could have the option to play with them both. And kids, I should say, adults, would want to pose to some Star Wars with the GI Joes, because there's a lot of, there's a lot of a lot of people that grew up with Star Wars and GI Joe and basically inherited boxes of figures from their older brother, and then they would play with them all together. So they weren't all segregated out. They were all in the same toy box. So you could have Luke Skywalker running around with Duke, Flint, Lando hanging out with Alpine, or Buck Rogers from the Mego series. But all these 3 and 3/4 figures were all the same scale. Now the posability and usefulness of how well they were played with each other is all different, because the Star Wars figure only had 5 points of articulation. And that might have been one of the downfalls of it. As where the 5 points of articulation on He-Man didn't hurt it at all, but he was a bigger, beefier figure that was designed like a wrestler to hammer against other figures. And he had a lot of accessories that he could play with as well. But what do you think of the Black Label? Do you collect them and leave them in package or in box? Or do you open them and stand them up next to each other? And maybe pose them with each other? But until next time, this is the Sounding Board, signing off.